Are we live? Yes, it does appear as though we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brew master in chief. Tonight, in the BrewLab, Meta Week continues. Meta Week Day 2. As you can see, I've just come off a sweet ass victory and I've made it into Diamond, and I have this deck partially to thank for that result today. And the deck I am talking about, if you have not guessed already from the thumbnail, is Mono White Snow. And here it is. And just like last night, we are going to do a very similar thing. We are going to play the most sort of obvious version and then see if there's any other versions, little bit of cool new tech. Has it evolved since day one of standard 2022 meta? Is there any sort of adjustments we can make along the way? Can we better it? And by the end of the video, we will probably have gone through about 2 or 3 different versions of the deck, and we will get to the bottom of this. Which of the mono white decks is the one that runs the smoothest, has the most reliable win cons, and yeah, that's it really. I mean, we did the same last night with mono green. I think we did get down to the bottom of that one. One of my very good viewers, Moonwatcher, helped us out with the final variant, and I think it allowed him to get into platinum today from gold. So very, very stoked with the results from last night's video. Today we're looking at mono white snow. So this is the replacement for the previous mono white, which was definitely much more life gain oriented. We had Selfless Savior, we had Alseed of Life's Bounty, we had Heliod, we had Linden. Now that I've been focusing entirely on standard 2022 since the play queue appeared, we've lost all of those cards, and many other people that are playing the same queue with me have had to ask themselves this question: is mono white still a thing? And this is what came about as a replacement to the previous version. There's 0 life gain whatsoever. This is definitely a much more white weenies aggro deck, and it's making full use of the Snowlands and Reidane, the only other significant snow permanent in the deck, which is an MDFC. It is Reidane on the front, the god of the worthy, legendary god, flying vigilance 2/3, and it makes it so that Snowlands your opponent controls enter the battlefield tapped. Now that, in the current meta, is just so good, because everyone's playing Snowlands. We lost the Triomes, we lost the Temples. There's a lot less good dual lands, so especially in the colors that do not have a snarl, everybody's playing snow all of a sudden, and Reidane just shuts that down. All their lands come into play tapped, and that makes it very much slower for them to get their game plan off the ground, and gives you, the mono white weenies aggro deck, which needs to just like flood the field with little tiny guys and swing in for the kill, a much better chance of getting there before you run into sweepers like Blood on the Snow, etc, 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 which is becoming rapidly my most hated card in this format right now. With all the ramp that colors that didn't previously have ramp, like black and blue, in Dimir control decks, and black and red, there was very little card draw in those decks in the past. Now with the prevalence of treasure tokens, they're getting to their Blood on the Snows on turn 5 very easily and destroying your game plan with these aggro decks. So Reidane is very, very good in shutting that down. And the other side of Reidane, the Valkmira Protector's Shield, is not a bad card either. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1 of that damage. Whenever you or another permanent you control become the target of a spell or ability, an opponent controls counter that spell or an ability unless its controller pays 1. So it essentially gives all of your permanents ward 1, which is freaking amazing. And I didn't finish reading the second part of Reidane. Non-creature spells your opponent casts with mana value 4 or greater cost 2 more. So now their Blood on the Snow costs 8. Their Doomscar costs 8. 7, etc, etc, etc. It really slows down all the sweepers and the stuff, like I said, for you to get the thing going. But enough with the blabbing, let's do the usual. I'll run through the deck from left to right, describe the cards to you, and as I do that, I usually, give you an idea of what the best way to play them is, and what are the best play lines, and yeah, hopefully by the end of this deck tech you'll have a very firm grasp of this deck. If you haven't played it or against it yet in the format, I don't know, you've been living under a rock, because this thing is everywhere. Mostly popularized by Hello Good Game. By the way, if you do not follow him yet, go and check out his channel. He's a beast. He's already in Mythic. He used this deck to do so. I think he did like a solid 150 games with this deck alone, and he got straight up into, he's already in the top 50 Mythic on day 3 of the season. So go check him out. He's a beast and a really nice guy, and his decks are very creative, and he's one of my biggest inspirations. So go check out HGG. Just search HGG MTG in your search bar and you'll find him. Anyway, start off with Codespell Cleric. This is one of the cards from Kaldheim that had the if the second spell, kind of second spell type of thing, together with Clarion Spirit. When Codespell Cleric enters the battlefield, if it was the second spell you cast this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. Usually you want to play this on like turn 2 or turn 3, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. Next up we have the new card from AFR, the Monk of the Open Hand. Which has Fury of Blows. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on Monk of the Open Hand. So more of that second spell thing. You want to be double casting every turn. And that is why we have so many 1-drops. Okay? So if you cast your Monk of the Open Hand on turn 1, turn 2, you can, they play their turn 1 or turn 2 thing, whatever that might be. It's gonna therefore be mana value 2 or less, which means it can be exiled with Portable Hole, at which point you will play Portable Hole first, Codespell Cleric second. You'll get a trigger on the Monk of the Open Hand, and then you can also put a counter either on the Codespell Cleric if you want to grow that one, or just put it on Monk of the Open Hand. So turn 2, you can swing in for 3 damage with your Monk of the Open Hand, which is already great, and you've removed their first little blocker, whatever it might be. Usually it's the werewolf pack leader that we played last night in mono green, the 2-drop, or any one of their class enchantments Portable Hole gets rid of. So obviously 3 of. We're also running a class enchantment, Paladin Class. It's obviously the best one for this type of build. Not only does it stack with Reidane in making things cost more, but in this case it's only during your opponent's turn, but like pretty cool. Sorry, during your turn. So if he wants to counter spell something, it's going to cost him 1 more. If he wants to cast some removal, flash something in, it's always going to cost 1 more if he's trying to, 1 colorless more if he's trying to do it in your turn. Level 2, which you can pay 3 for, gives all your creatures +1/+1. So with all these little weenie wieners that are quite small, if you can give everybody +1/+1, that is damn good. And then the level 3 is just the game ender, right? Whenever you attack, until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature. So if you have 5 attackers and they're all swinging in at the same time, and Paladin Class is level 3, you can select one of those attackers and it will gain +5/+5 and double strike. You're usually putting that on one of your flyers, right? Be it Reidane, Elite Spellbinder, one of the spirit tokens from Clarion Spirit, you name it, something that is evasive. If you've got it, good, put it on that. You get like a, you know, in that case, in the example I just made, this would be like a 9/9 double strike flying. It usually ends the game, and that's what we're trying to do really with the deck, is to engineer a situation whereby we are going really wide and then leveling up Paladin Class to level 3 and then swinging in with all of those little guys and giving something that has evasion of some kind, double strike, and a lot of +1/+1. So next up, Usher of the Fallen. This is the one that I don't really like so much in the deck, but it is a good 1-drop. If you don't have another good 1-drop, because it doesn't really have one of those second spell triggers like the others, you can just play this on turn 1, just have something, you know, start to build up a board presence. If your lands are a bit wonky, you don't have other good cards, you can start to boast and create little 1/1s. So it is pretty good, but I don't really like this card. I'm not a huge fan of the boast mechanic. This will be one that probably I would take out and replace with something else. I'm not entirely sure what, but we might figure that out by the end of this video. Next up, Clarion Spirit. Obvious inclusion, has to be in the deck. Like this is what's helping us to go wide, and little flyers like that just pinging in every turn for damage is great. And don't forget that once you've leveled up a Paladin Class to level 2, these are 2/2 flyers. So continual little ping damage from 2/2 flyers every turn, or just being able to keep up a little token as a blocker is incredibly beneficial and great value. So an obvious 4 in this deck, and we're trying to double spell on top of it whenever it's on the battlefield. Oftentimes it's either turn, so you might play it on turn 2 and be tapped out, and then turn 3 play something like either another Clarion Spirit and then follow it up with a Codespell, or you play, you know, another 2 1-drops because you haven't got your third land. Then you can play like a Monk of the Open Hand and a Codespell Cleric on turn 3, and you get the trigger from the Clarion Spirit. So by when you untap on turn 4, you will have a 2/2, a 1/1 flyer, a 2/2 Monk of the Open Hand, and a 2/2 Codespell Cleric on turn 4. That's a lot of creatures already, right? So pretty damn sweet little sort of play line. The other one is to just save it. Don't play anything turn 1. Don't play anything turn 2, especially if you're going up against the more rampy type of decks. Don't play anything until turn 3, and then suddenly turn 3 you just do all of that in one go, boom, 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 and you've got all those creatures on the board. But it's better, I've started to realize, to even maybe open with Monk of the Open Hand and have it down on turn 1, so that turn 2 you can double spell, and you're already starting to grow your growers and spawn your little tokens as soon as you can in the game. Then this version of Mono White is running full 4 copies of Luminarch Aspirant. What a card, probably the best 2-drop in white. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So again, a way to make these little wieners that seem insignificant bigger and bigger and bigger, and they get out of hand. If they cannot sweep the field in time, you are going to be able to make some incredibly big things that you paid an incredibly small amount for. So I think it's probably a staple in this deck. We'll have to see the other versions as we go along. But yeah. Oh, Moon Watcher. How are you, brother? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. Sorry, where was I? Next up, Elite Spellbinder. Like, when you're playing against it, it's just so annoying. Like, the combination of Skyclave and Apparition and Elite Spellbinder, like, are vying for position as my, like, it's Blood on the Snow, Elite Spellbinder, Skyclave Apparition are like starting to be, and then Goldspan Dragon is somewhere down there, but those are like my most hated cards to play against in this format. Of course, if you get to play them against the opponent, then it feels pretty good. So Elite Spellbinder is just incredibly good, okay? Not only are we slowing down their lands if they're playing snow lands, not only are we making spells they cost 1 more if they cast during your turn, but if you play the Elite Spellbinder, you exile the important card, their sweeper, their Alrund's Epiphany, anything that has Foretell. once it gets exiled with Elite Spellbinder, it can no longer be foretold. If you exile Alrund's Epiphany with Elite Spellbinder, it costs 9 mana. If you exile their Blood on the Snow with Elite Spellbinder, it ends up costing 8 mana. So you can see how this is really good alongside all of the other, you know, if that Blood on the Snow has been exiled with Elite Spellbinder and you have Reidane in play, it basically makes it uncastable. Like, the amount of mana that they need to cast that spell at that point is ridiculous. They're going to have to rely on being able to top deck one, which usually gives you the window of time that you need to push through with your little creatures and win the game. We've already talked at length about Reidane, so I will not talk more about that. And then we've got, of course, Skyclave Apparition, which is on top of Portable Hole, the only other removal piece in the deck. It's a 3 mana, 1 colorless, 2 white core spirit. When it comes into the battlefield, you exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with mana value 4 or less. That's the only kind of downside in my opinion. But it is really good in an aggro deck because we're not really trying to go too much further than turn 5, turn 6. It's already probably gone a little too late. So it's okay that it only targets things that cost mana value 4 or less. And although the other downside is that if they do remove it, when it leaves the battlefield, the opponent gets an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. But you know, it's that good. Everyone's playing it. I don't really like this card. I don't think it's that good or as good as people think it is, but it's everywhere, and I think in this deck it probably is the best option. We did lose Banishing Light, which I preferred. Everyone kept saying, you know, yeah, but what if you get rid of Banishing Light, then the thing comes back onto the battlefield with the Skyclave, all they get back is an illusion. That illusion can be a 4/4 illusion and an absolute pain in the butt to get rid of in a deck like this, where you have, you know, the only other thing that can get rid of it is a Portable Hole. So and it's much more common, especially against all these control decks, mono black, you know, Banishing Verse, Blood Chief's Thirst, Blood on the Snow, Poison the Cup. There's so much removal that is good right now that it's much easier for them to get rid of a creature that's a 2/2 than it is to get rid of an enchantment like Banishing Light. But we do not have Banishing Light, so Skyclave Apparition is taking up that slot. And yeah, you can grow it with a Luminarch Aspirant. It can get a little bit bigger and can end up being an attacker and a blocker. So, and it is a good removal piece. So we're running 4 copies of that in the deck. And then the last creature, Legion Angel, which is, there's a 1 of, but it's actually 4 because the other 3 are hiding away here in the sideboard. What a card. Legion Angel, 4 mana for a 4/3 Angel Warrior with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card that you own outside the game named Legion Angel and bring it into your hand. So it replaces itself, and you can keep grabbing these Legion Angels from outside of the game. So pretty sweet, nice little powerful flyer that you can of course then keep growing with the Luminarch Aspirant, and hopefully that'll be the target for your level 3 Paladin class when you go in for the kill. The rest is pretty straightforward. It's just the 18 snow-covered plains and 4 Faceless Havens. It's okay to run 22 lands in this deck because the most expensive thing is a Legion Angel, and there's only really 1 of them in the deck. The rest is 3 mana, so 22 lands is more than enough. That's the deck. Let's jump into the games. Morton BMX. Welcome to the stream. I think it's the first time I'm seeing your name in the chat. Good to have you. Edwin, my brother, thank you for joining the stream. So good to have you. Let's see, what are you guys talking about here? Yeah, Apparition is great, but obviously it is a really good card. It's just it's a personal thing. I don't like it. It's just I don't know if it's because I hate playing against it so much. Oh goodness, I played the wrong deck. This is my deck. Terribly sorry. This is my deck. Okay, well, I was going to save this one for later. This is my version of mono white. There's no snow. I was trying to be original and do something similar without playing the exact same thing, okay? So this one I call Dragon Wieners. It's been on the channel before. I've made a few adjustments. I think this is like you know, less good. It's definitely less good than the other one, but I think it is potentially funner, and at least I'm being original. You know, trying to do something different. It looks like Lorehold Dragons. GG. Gosh dang, that is horrible. This card is everywhere now, and it's come back because of mono white aggro. It just shuts me down completely. Interesting. Cool deck, cool stuff, bro. Sorry guys, okay. Ay. Bad. Okay. I thought he would have blocked the monk. Crush the weak. Nothing. He waffles. Whew, we win. Fantastica.
I will defend the weak from the wicked.
Ah, vigilance.
Demonstrate your skill.
Whew, nice. Blade Historian is such a sweet card. Alright, sorry about that. I just did a deck tech for one deck and then ended up playing the wrong deck. It's the deck I was playtesting just before I hit stream, so we'll switch back to the one I actually talked about, which is this one. But as you can see, my variant is pretty cool as well, and it's not the same as everybody else's mono white, and I get to run Doomscar against the mirror match because you can use the Planeswalker Master of Flowers to start grabbing your little guys out of the graveyard again. So I just beat a mono green deck just before I hit record. That victory that I was on when I started the stream was from my Dragon Wiener deck. But this is the traditional snow one that we just talked about. So, and I think that's a very nice opening hand. if I draw another 1-drop, I'll play the monk first. Okay, so I'm gonna wait and do 1-2. I'll do 2 and then boom, boom. Although he could have now already the bloody Blizzard Brawl, which is pretty annoying. It's highly likely. Or a Troll. This deck is just... we played it last night. If they get the right draw, it's just ridiculous. Like, I breezed through Platinum. It was actually just a little too easy. We talked about this playline yesterday. Now he gets to level up the ranger class and attack me for 4 on turn 3. It's so good. Ay, caramba. And I can't even exile it with the with this guy. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Probably go Reidane, Paladin Class. They've always somehow got 2 Blizzard Brawls in their hand. Yeah, I'm gonna exile the class. Next turn I want to go class, exile, Paladin Class. If he doesn't, if he just kind of attacks, I'll take the 4. What now? What more? Snakeskin Veil. No. Of course. Of course. What a deck. Okay. I think this is the way to go here. I need to stop that thing growing. Might even block it if he goes for me. Chariot. Ouch. This is not a great matchup. They just keep coming at you with stuff, this deck. It's ridiculously hard to beat. Now you can crew the chariot with the professor. And he's got, you know, he can already attack with the cats. What does a poor guy to do about this kind of stuff, you know? Yeah, well, The only removal I've got for them is Skyclave Apparition. That's why I just don't like this deck. It's really not my type of thing. You just have to get the god draw, you know? Turn 1, everything just works out magically, and you can somehow just, you know, get them. If they don't run into any removal and everything else is okay, then you'll be fine, but... I mean, I'm already dead, so... Fuck it. I am gonna... not play much of this deck at all, like in standard. It's really not my thing. There's not enough removal. Okay, so I mean, let's just play one more for science. Maybe we get that god draw. Everybody's seen it, everybody's played against it when it just goes off like that, and they've got like friggin' 6 creatures by turn 4 with like 3 mana. And then they just kill you with Paladin Class, but yeah. Yeah, the Reidane's the only card that has snow hate in the whole game. Maro, you know, Mark Rosewater fully admitted it in his one of his last articles. He was like, we didn't do enough for snow hate. In retrospect, Reidane, it wasn't enough. Party. Party, party, yeah. Just lovely, like 60-year-old, well, it's not age 60 years, but the bottle is 60 years old. It's like a really old bottle of Johnny Walker. That's enough lands now, mate. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. Okay. I'll let that through. That's okay. Comes the Bears of... Ooh, that's the full party. And we're fucked. Party is coming back with a... Like, I've just played it... As soon as I got into Diamond, I've played it like 5 times already tonight. It's good. When it goes off like this, it's just ridiculous. And if it wasn't the Nimble Trap Finder, it would have been the Bears of Litjara or whatever. You know, what are you supposed to do against that? We need a way to get rid of at least one of them. And now he's drawing cards because he's got that guy. Okay, this is nice. Now the question is... think we're dead already. Unblockable. Makes one creature unable to block. 2 flyers. I think we're dead. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Both you guys' statements there. It just seems like somehow they got the freaking the bee's knees right here, and I'm stuck with you know. I mean, it's okay. Let's just attack with everything and see if that gets us anywhere. For king and country. Blocks 3 to get through. It's gonna be like 3 damage. It's okay. We're in diamond, so I'm not going to be dropping back down to plat. So I'm okay just playing decks that I'm not too good at. But there we go. I mean, that was a pretty good draw. We got everything we wanted, like, pretty much. Except for Paladin Class, we're not drawing that as often. I want to show you version 2 that I've got over here. Slightly different. A little bit more... actually, no, this is the exact same one. Beg your pardon. Yeah, the only difference here is there's less Faceless Havens. Deleting this rubbish. I think, honestly, like, if you want to try play this deck and you just don't want to be an ass like everybody else, check out my Dragon Wieners build. You get to run Doomscar, you get to run Expel, you get to run Portable Hole, a little bit more removal, and then you get to run, you know, Icing Death and the Grandmaster of Flowers. I think it's just a better brew all around. I think I could even just do something like this. And we get to play a nice man land instead of playing Faceless Haven all the time. And it's still Paladin Class, it's still the double spell thing with Clarion Spirit, Monk of the Open Hand. And I'm running the Raptor instead of the Codespell Cleric. I really like this build. It's one of my funnest decks to play. I just, it's not as competitive as the other one, but okay, so now we're at the point in the night where we need to make some adjustments. If you guys were playing this deck, what would you do to make it better? Okay. Personally, I would probably get rid of the Usher and put in a full 4 copies of the Paladin Class, and then I would put in 2 of these little birdies that I was playing in the other deck. If you can grow these with Luminarch Aspirant, it becomes really good. We can even do this. Let's see how this runs. Version 2. Version 3. Yes. Mort on BMX, like, so it's obviously Orzhov clerics. Okay, full Reidane, huh? Full copies of Reidane. So we can actually get her every single game and also put down the Valkmira shield protector thing more often. I guess that's pretty good idea. Chiefy C. I'll give that a try next round, Moonwatcher. Let's see how it goes. That combo that you just talked about, Morton, I've got I'm going to show you guys a little sneak peek of something I'm working on. It's actually Abzan, but it'll probably end up being Orzhov clerics that runs that exact copy, that exact combo. There isn't much left about it, with much left ways to do that trick, where you give your creatures protection and then Doomscar. There is the new Spirit Knight from AFR that you can, but then that costs a lot more. You need to get, I think, a full would be, if you foretold Doomscar, you need 6 mana total to do that. You flash in the Knight, put into whatever the zone they're calling that, the you know, your creatures, and then Doomscar afterwards. But that's way more expensive. The Selfless Glyph Weaver is free. You play it first, set the whole thing up, then sack it and Doomscar afterwards. Yeah, Heroic Intervention. There we go. That was my favorite thing, Moonwatcher. That was the one. Then you could do it all for 5 mana. And you know, and it was hexproof and indestructible. I really missed that card. It was such a beast card. Everything indestructible, sweep. Your side of the board survives. It was just too epic. So epic. Is he gonna just attack to make the 2 treasures with Zorn, or is he gonna wait? And if he does wait, okay. Play another Magda? Is that the plan here? Nah. Doubt it. This is a Goldspan Dragon deck, for sure. Unfortunately, Skyclave Apparition doesn't take care of the Goldspan, so... High Venom 87542. I would never run that card. And it's also banned in standard. So, that type of stuff is just really lame. It's not my cup of tea to just lock the opponent out of the game like that. It feels lame. So many yeah, I mean, isn't it banned, guys? I mean, it's they made a mistake in the update and it came back for a little bit, but it's banned. I think it's only in historic. Hello. Magda. Okay, I can block the Goldspan. Probably gonna seize the spoils away, whatever this is. Ooh, Arnie. Cool. Not that many people playing this card. It's pretty cool. Life gain, ramp, counters, ink rule. I really like this card. I just haven't found a good place to play it. 2 mana for all of this. It's a great saga. Okay, so put 2 +1/+1 counters on one of target creature you control. Should we attack? Yeah, exactly. The Faceless Haven isn't gonna get banned, so the book will stay banned. Reidane 7 looks incredible for the new set, and it's like the perfect answer to Goldspan Dragon. You play it on turn 5, same turn as Goldspan. -3, you create a 5/5 tree folk thing with reach that can then block Goldspan without dying. I really like the design space there. It was a well-made card, I think, and like in a landfall, probably gonna look at doing sort of like a Golgari landfall deck with Nissa and Reidane 7. I have some ideas already formulating around that combo wombo. And the new werewolves, man. We've only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days to go before spoiler season starts officially. To say I'm excited is an understatement. I'm so fucking amped to see that shit. Yeah, and flashback. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh god. Oh god. Not Vorinclex. Not Vorinclex. We're so screwed. Yeah, also I'm super excited about Kamigawa. I never got to play the first one. So this version that's coming out with okay, he's going for the swing. This like neon cyberpunk looking version of Kamigawa just looks so sick. We dead anyway next turn, so I just kind of thought I'd let him go for it because he can activate the Haven and swing with Vorinclex, so good game. I'll take the hit like a gentleman. Skadoosh, skadoosh. Close. Close. Yeah, like, fuck all this Fortnite and fucking Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, whatever the hell, man. Like, thank God, none of that stuff. Like, it sucks. I don't like the direction, but I don't play paper Magic, and I pretty much just play standard. So everything that's there announced just doesn't affect me at all. I can just let all the hate posts on Facebook wash over me. It's you know, I'm gonna be, you know, in standard. So the Fortnite cards are reprints. So cool, new aesthetics. That doesn't bother me at all. The Street Fighter stuff is only in historic, I think. Yeah, like I just don't care. Like, it doesn't affect me in the slightest. I don't play historic. I don't play modern. I don't play Pioneer or any of the other older formats. So cool. Bring in more players to the game. Service the whoever likes that stuff. Sell as many cards as you like. Hasbro makes more money. It's better for us too. They should, you know, hopefully invest some of that money in making the arena client better and that sort of stuff. But I couldn't care less. Do what you want, guys. Like, I still think that the sets that are being released in standard, the sets that are released every year, I think those are still fan-bloody-tastic, and they're doing a great job of them. AFR has been really good. I'm really excited for this double drop of Innistrad stuff. The sets that they're previewed next year just look freaking amazing, and that's all I'll be playing. So bring on the Lord of the Rings. You can do whatever the hell you want. McDonald's set next, I don't care. It's not gonna affect me in the slightest, except for maybe bringing more viewers to the channel. So, you know, more people playing Magic is good for everybody, so that's okay. Right, so I don't like mono white. I play it badly. We are approaching the 1 hour mark. I don't think there's many adjustments that one can make to really make it better. This is the deck. This is the way it's supposed to be played. So I'm going to switch to my preferred one. I like this one better, okay? This is my baby, and the wins are much more satisfying. With the Monk of the Open Hands, it feels really nice. Hopefully no removal, instant speed. Ooh, yes, he's got something. Damn it. Okay. Okay, so probably Bruno next turn. Oh well. Bruno, free equip. Oh, Nahiri. He's gonna put it on a warrior. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. What an ass. Oh, you're a bit out of steam now. Unless you got another Nahiri. Hold on. wish I had another bloody man. Played the sequence wrong. It's my bad. Come on. Oof. Oof. Dodgy, dodgy. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Sweet. Put the heart attack counter at the beginning of your upkeep. McDonald's freaking secret lair, the double cheeseburger Tron. Yeah, I've been working on a Tarask deck in mono green with elves and Tarask as the top end. It's pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. It's tough to pull off, but a 10-10 hasting ward 10, no, 11-11, isn't it? Just played this guy. Gladrelda. We just played this guy. What was he running again? I can't see it because the MTGA assistant is busted at the moment because of the patch. Gladrelda. What was he playing? Oh, it's the guy with the Magda and the freaking meh. Oh no, it was the party guy. Okay. Party, yeah. This is great against the party deck. If it ever seems like he's getting close to assembling the full team, I'm gonna just blast him. now's the time to just zap. Bye-bye. Whew. Got it. Card draw in this deck, Nigel? Nothing. Mono white. It's pitiful. And I don't feel like sacrificing 3 whole slots or 4 whole slots in the deck to something as pathetic as Revitalize. Unfortunately, mono white is just, you know, it's just the way the color pie works in Magic. We all know it. I think the best thing I'm doing for card draw here is fetching things out of my graveyard or my library with the Grandmaster. That's it. And I mean, the same can be said about all of these other ones that we've been playing. Actually, at least I have the Grandmaster. All these others have no card draw. And it's considered to be in the top 3 decks in the format. So, you know, I don't know. 0 card draw whatsoever. Today, during my climb into Diamond, this deck is ridiculous. Also, no card draw. But the amount of life gain is just ridiculous. The combination of Attended Healer, it being a Cleric, and the Celebrant, on top of a Righteous Valkyrie with Trelisara in play and ways to protect it. This deck got me like a whole 2 tiers in Platinum. I'm going to do a little video on it soon. But yeah, just to kind of wrap up on today's video. It's 2 a.m. in Italy. I think we've gotten to the bottom of mono white. There isn't any adjustments that need to be made. This is probably the best version right now. Hello Good Game has just posted another one. All he's really done is I think he just went up like 1 or 2. He went down a Raptor, up an Angel. Very small adjustments, but it's like these are the cards that you're playing in it. And I don't like it. I don't like playing it, and I don't like playing against it. And it's actually not as strong as you would think. If you don't get the God Draw, if you run into the sweeper, it just falls apart really quickly. And like as Nigel pointed out, there is no card draw. So once they do the sweeper, you're just left top decking, and it's just not my cup of tea. But it is one of the best decks in the format, so it definitely deserved this spot in Meta Week. And that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to just quickly do this for you. Nigel. Bam. Oh crap, I can't copy that big of a thing into the game, into the chat. How can I send you this? Here, let me just leave it open for you for a little while. I mean, just type Cleric and have it in green and white in your filter. I'm liking Expel as removal. Snakeskin Veil, Fortifying Draft are the only things that aren't an Inscription of Abundance. That's your interaction. And then Cleric class, Dawnbringer Cleric, Trelisara, Core Celebrant, Righteous Valkyrie, Attendant Healer. So basically, the cool thing is Attendant Healer has a 3 mana static ability that can be, done multiple times, and another Cleric gains lifelink until end of turn. Not only that, but when it comes into play and you're playing it on top of a Core Celebrant, and you've already got a Righteous Valkyrie in play, let's say, you're gaining 3 life because it's got 3 toughness, and that's how Righteous Valkyrie works. And then because it's the first time you're gaining life each turn, it creates a 1/1 cat creature token. That cat creature token hits the battlefield and triggers the Core Celebrant again. And if you've got Trelisara in play, that's like 4 or 5 triggers with Trelisara. And if you've got a Cleric class that's level 2, that's like 6 counters spread around in one drop. It's incredible. And you've got ways of getting rid of the other class enchantments with the Dawnbringer Cleric. Also, sneaky little card, Bredegard Stronghold. Put +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. They gain Vigilance and Lifelink at the end of turn. And you get to run a Lair of the Hydra and a Cave. It's been putting in the work for me today. Yeah, very simple. You just want to gain so much life that you can't possibly lose the game and make big creatures and swing in for the kill. I hope you enjoy it, my brother. Alright, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have an epic rest of the day wherever it is that you are on this planet. I will see you all tomorrow for Meta Week Day 3. We will probably be looking at either Rakdos or the pesty things. I'm going to leave Blood Money for the day after that. And yeah, until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Goodbye, Edwin. Thanks for watching, bro.